I grew up with the faith that God was horrible and punishing and really wanted to hurt me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be open with him. So I spent probably most of my early life running. I rejected God. I hated God that he took my sister and he took my mum and dad. He took their attention, their time. The grief and the loss is so deep. Until I got that revelation, I think it must have been that God was there all along with me in that. And I knew there was something real about this God that you were believing in and you were telling us about, which was different to what I understood before.
Yeah.
There was a difference.
Well, hello and welcome to Camper Van Life, Church on Wheels. So Christmas and the New Year has just slipped by like in an instant, just like a cloud just floating by. And here we are, into the new year, and I have a visitor. I have a camper van visitor. So because it's the festive time, I've got my family come to see me. So I'm going to introduce you now to Sister Sarah, my very own blood sister. She's all right, She's all right. So welcome, Sarah. Great to see you. What do you think of the camper van? What do you think about me living in a camper van?
Well, I'm very impressed. I think, first of all, with the china. Perhaps once of a day that might have come off the back of a lorry. But for my brother to make me a teapot of tea and milk in a jug is just amazing. The camper van's amazing. It's very close to my heart. It's as if it's a life that's always been meant to be lived. You've got everything that you need. And things are happening and changing in all our lives, aren't they?
What do you think? Like, so you think about, you've come to faith, like I have as well. What do you think, like our mum and dad? So mum and dad brought us up they were quite strict Catholics in that way, if you want to put it like that. But they kind of softened, I guess, or changed somewhat towards the end of their life, both of them.
Yeah.
So what do you think they think about, because they never saw me be ordained or go to uni or anything, what do you think they think?
I think they knew. I think they knew that we would come to faith as parents, because after Mum died, we found the Bible, didn't we? With notes in and prayers of family, and I believe they prayed for us. So they had hope that we would all be saved and we'd all be free and be living a life that they could have only dreamed of for us, I think.
What did it take for you to come to faith, Sarah? So what do you think it's took?
That's a big question. That took a lot. So I always had some faith because we were brought up not daring to not believe. We had to believe. But through trauma and loss of family, I grew up with the faith that God was horrible and punishing and really wanted to hurt me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be open with him. So I spent probably most of my early life running, but yet knowing he was real. But I believed in a God of other people's understanding, not of my own. And it took, we're from a family of addiction.
Yeah.
Mine was food.
Yeah.
I wasn't old enough really to have drugs, otherwise it could have been that, or alcohol, but food became God. And when my mental health was so bad and the food was so big and the sense of wanting to be dead and still having to try and bring up a child, that was the beginning, I think, of coming to some sort of awareness
so you
of
think
God.
the pain
100%
led you to...
I wish it wasn't sometimes.
Yeah.
But the pain and the suffering even kneeling at mum and dad's grave because I thought I had breast cancer or whatever it was. There was a lot of suffering. But I see the purpose in that. So I think coming to faith took a long time for me.
So do you think,
Yeah.
so like, I know we had loving parents, but we didn't really have a good life.
No.
Because of many different circumstances that we don't need to talk about here. So we all suffered one way or another.
Yeah.
And do you think that having suffered as children, as young people anyway, that had an effect on how we perceive God or how we perceived God?
Yeah, I do, because I think we all suffered, as many do in our family, especially our parents, mum and dad.
Yeah.
They had a lot of suffering,
Yeah.
a lot of pain, and we were just trying to get through life, trying to grasp something to give some relief. So, yeah, I think our family suffering not only did help in a way of, bringing us to God, understanding of God, but even deeper, that we never knew that we were loved, really.
Yeah.
So, I believe so deep down that Jesus died so I could be loved, so that you could be loved.
Yeah.
And that's a very different faith to what we
were brought up.
upbringing. Yet some of the old Catholic beliefs are still amazingly in me, and they're great. I think we just had to find our way. I had to find my way, you found your way. And I know when you did find your way and you brought that truth into the family, things really started to change then, because you were not the same person. I was very angry and bitter, and that stuff was deep within me. So a long journey of coming to know, to know God.
So I think for some of the guys who will be listening that don't know, so we lost our sister, didn't we? Which was a real big shock, but it was also, when you're young and you see what that does to your parents, you kind of don't know where you fit, do you?
No.
You can't say, you can't, and it's so confusing, isn't it? And then your behaviour changes, because of that. And that has quite a big impact, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was the biggest impact, I think. Overnight, our family changed, didn't it? So my sister died on what would be my birthday, really, the day before my birthday. And I was left just sensing that it was partly my fault.
Yeah.
When you lose a sister, a child, or whatever, whoever that is there anything I could have done if it wasn't my birthday? For people that are listening, and it's nobody's fault. But I lingered on that. I rejected God. I hated God that He took my sister, and He took my mum and dad. He took their attention, their time, because they were consumed with pain and grief. And I hated them as well for not seeing. So the grief and the loss is so deep. Until I got that revelation, I think it must have been that God was there all along with me in that. And I do think mum and dad knew that from the Bible readings that we found. They knew God was with them on some level.
Yeah, I think so. So I remember after my mum had died, and you were seemed to be, you were older. So I remember being sat in your garden with my dad, and you was almost on the edge of a breakdown, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
And he asked me to pray for you, and so I prayed for you, and Dad was there, and it was like something fell and you were just consumed, and it was like a deliverance. It was like something was ripped out of your being from the deep down inside your stomach, and that seemed to be, to me, from observing from outside, that prayer, that moment seemed to be a genuine beginning of renewal for me. That's what I saw. I just wondered what you thought about it.
It was. Things changed. And I know when you prayed, and Dad was witness to that, I was desperate.
Yeah.
I had that gift, that absolute desperation that I remember ringing you and saying, you better come over. There's something wrong with me. And I wanted to die, but I couldn't because I had a young boy to bring up on my own. So I couldn't wait for you to come because I knew you had something. There was something different. But I just needed family. I just needed somebody. And you prayed. And I remember the scream.
Yeah.
It was shrill. The word is shrill. And it just went out of me.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it. Didn't have to plan it. It just happened. And the release of all of the emotion and all of the stuff in me from when Anne died and other things that have gone along through the years were removed.
Yeah.
And continue to be removed, you know, but that was a turning point, massive for me, huge turning point. And I knew there was something real about this God that you were believing in and you were telling us about, which was different to what I understood before.
Yeah.
There was a difference. Yeah.
So we used to have like nuns hit us with sticks and tell us Jesus loved us, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And it didn't kind of add up.
Not really.
You know, it didn't add up, did it? And,
No.
you know, they had so much power and so much respect in the community and everything else. And it didn't seem to fit with us, did it?
No.
You know, I can remember. Different time, though. It was a different era.
It was a different era. And I think that, you know, that did filter into all of us to the point where we were almost banging ourselves on the back with our own stick, weren't we?
Yeah.
Because we felt worthless and full of shame and, you know, and that became difficult in itself, didn't it? You know, that self-hatred.
Yeah. So what do you think about forgiveness then now? What's forgiveness now? Is it self-forgiving? What is it? What's forgiveness now? If I say that word,
I know it's something that I can't do very easily. I know it's God that does the forgiving, but I know if I'm forgiven, then I'm called to forgive. And I'm forgiven much.
Yeah.
So I'm called to forgive much. Now that changes me. If I have to forgive much, it's going to make me have to go within, and God will shine the light on what things are in me so that I can go out. But without God, there's no way. There's no way that I can.
So I'm going to ask you then about an incident. Tell me if you think you're forgiven. Do you remember when you and Claire put cat food in my dad's tatty ash? Yeah.
I do. I do.
Do you remember?
I do.
Do you remember how hilarious it was when you were eating it?
I do. I remember that as well. I made Claire do it. And but looking back, I mean, you know, it wasn't all trauma.
No, it was hilarious.
We had a laugh, didn't we?
Of course we did.
You know, but we had a laugh because we didn't know what else to do.
No.
And we took the mickey out of each other, and that's where we survived, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it was almost a sense of safety to do that in a way, wasn't it? But I'm absolutely forgiven for making Claire hit Dad with shoes and stir cat food into his tea.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as you remember, my dad knew he was eating cat food, and he still ate it as we were meowing in the corner.
It was quite one of the funniest moments of my childhood growing up. It was amazing. Amazing. You know,
it was amazing. It was. Yeah.
So then, not all of us, but most of us, children, have definitely come to know God in a very real way. That it's a transformative way, should we say? Should we put it? That's kind of how we know it's real, because, you know, we've gone through and still going through life transformations. And everything that it says in the Bible is happening to each one of us. And I guess it's just kind of just saying, like, how, for you, so how do you keep going on this path? Because many turn away, you know, many do and will turn away, or they try to find a different gospel or an easier way to go, or, you know, that's just the nature of human beings. But you know I know you know the gospel, you know, so How do you think you keep going?
Oh gosh, because I've tried everything else. So before I had any glimmer of God and his his love and that transforming power, I did everything anyway. I did Hinduism, Buddhism, went to temples, did everything, nothing else worked anyway. But I know there's something in me. People call that the Holy Spirit. I don't know what people might want to call that, but there's something in me that can't ever let go. I can't, because when life is tough, as it is, it's always showing me something and it pulls me back. I want to ask God. And I've spent too long and too many years trying to run away from God and letting people pull me away from God.
Yeah.
Just generally in life, in jobs, in whatever it might be. But as my relationship has grown with God, my relationship with others has grown, and I don't want to be away from him. I want to know more. It's not easy, and I do know that I can't do it on my own. And when I try, it makes me ill and depressed. I need other people to speak into me, to share. I see other people suffering around me. I need that.
Yeah.
I need to suffer with them.
Yeah.
I need to be free in whatever it is I'm feeling. And it's okay to have other people around you and to share. We're made in the image of God in Margot Day. That means we need each other.
We do.
So I think what keeps me going is remembering my deliverance.
Yeah.
Remembering who I am. Remembering where I can go. And it just takes a word and it's back. But it's not easy. Life's not easy. It's tough when you've got to stand against stuff. It is tough.
So to finish off, so if I'll ask you, if our mum was here, what would you say to her now?
Oh, I'd say, I miss you. I love you. And I'd say, look at this.
Deeper.
And I'd say, look at what he's doing. Look at what we're doing. And you loved God, Mum. And thank you for praying for us.
Yeah. And what would you say to Dad?
I'd say, I forgive you for everything that I thought you did wrong anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm so blessed to have known you. And I can't wait to see you again.
Amen.
I can't wait. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thanks everybody for listening in to Church on Wheels and just a little bit more insight into who and what we are as a church and as a family. And tune in next time. See you later.